Hey guys, so Lopera's Euphoria, should you pull or build it? And her kit explained. Well, her kit is actually pretty simple, so let us go through it. The main thing that we want from her is her array, Crucible Arsenal, which lasts for 3 rounds. And when you use the ultimate, you will remove all of Lopera's basic incantation from the spell dot. And from each incantation removed, she will gain flaming bullets. And while the array is up, every time she does an attack, she gets 1 additional Moxie. The good thing about this array is that it gives a bunch of crit, 40%, and it allows crit conversion to crit damage based on bullets. Okay, so it's 40 at base, then every bullet is 10% more. Now with her Euphoria is up to 8 times, so she can convert up to 120%. So that is the most for a support as far as I recall. So it's a pretty big deal for characters that has a lot of crit. And yeah, when attacking, for each type of bullets, so damage dealt plus 5%, incantation might plus 5%, ultimate might plus 5%, up to 8 times. So if you have 8 bullets, it's 40% each, which is a lot. At the moment, only Igor can get up to 8 bullets. If you are using her as a generic support, the most she can give is just 1 type of bullet. So it's just 5% damage dealt and 5% incantation might and ultimate might. Her skill 1 is very simple, but basically we don't use this for damage. We use this to convert her flaming bullets into incantation bullets and ritual bullets and give it to the party. So it's very specific on how she distribute this. So if it's incantation bullets, so it will distribute to characters in front, which means you want to put Lopera behind. Okay, at the 4th slot. If your team is alt team, then you put Lopera in front because she will distribute the ritual bullet to the characters behind her. You want to make sure at least you have 1 flaming bullet when you use this attack to distribute. Once you distribute, then it is fine. That's because her array will prevent bullet from being depleted. So it will always leave 1 bullet behind. Incantation bullet give incantation might 25%, ultimate bullet is ultimate might 25%. If you are playing with Igor, it doesn't matter where you slot her in, which position, because she will distribute both bullets to everyone. Skill 2, winning chip, self channel, so grant 5 stacks of flaming bullet to self and enter ready to shoot status. So flaming bullet after attacking inflict 3 stack of burn. If this channel status is still active at the end of the round, cast 1 bullseye. Bullseye is a 1 target attack, 180% relative damage, and grant right on target to all allies for 2 rounds. And if have at least 20 stack of burn, right on target effect is doubled. And this attack is guaranteed hit, but yeah, who really bothers about this guaranteed hit anyway? Guaranteed crit. Okay, right on target is quite important because the allies that has right on target will gain Lopera's crit damage, 10% of it. If when they are attacking an enemy with 20, then you gain 20%. And her basically this means that you want to pump up her crit damage, that you don't bother about anything else. You just want her crit damage to be as high as possible. One thing with her Euphoria, it gives her like 31% additional crit damage. So I guess, you know, although her Euphoria seems quite mediocre in the sense, it's only good for Igor, but at least that 31% of crit damage does help out. So if it's 10% of that, so it's like additional 3% crit damage, and if it's doubles, then 6% crit damage. So her rotation is very simple. Now we also know that her Euphoria gives her additional Moxie. From her insight, when an attack triggers a bullet, she will gain 1 Moxie. And then heals an ally 50%, but this can crit. So if she crits, then you almost get like 90% or very close to 100%. It's almost a full heal to the ally with the lowest HP percentage. Okay, Insight 3, when entering battle, gain 1 Moxie for every other beast, spirit, or intellect ally that is present. She gain additional 1 Moxie, up to 2. So which means she can start with either 1 Moxie or 3 Moxie. If you start with 3 Moxie, then very simple, the rotation, you start with S2, 1 more Moxie, that's 4. Now she enters the channel status. She does a follow-up attack at the end. And then there's one more Moxie, so now there's 5. In round 2, you use her ultimate, and then you use S1 to distribute bullets. Then in round 3, you do nothing. Round 4, you will get back her ultimate. Because in round 3, she will do the follow-up attack, and she will get 2 more Moxie. So definitely in round 4, you will get her ultimate again. You can choose to use it or not to use it if you are having allies that does attack at the start of the round. Then you want to use it at round 4, or else you wait until round 5, then you use it. Then basically her rotation is just using her ultimate. You don't need to use any of her skill anymore. Okay, another reason if you want to use the ultimate early is that you want to remove her cards, right? Removing it from the spell dock so that more of your DPS incantation will come in. And for her teammate, Igor's team. Okay, Igor has many bullets and will significantly gain damage boost from Lopera's Euphoria. So it's kind of like Isolde in Lingering Glow. Okay, and we know how important Isolde is. So yeah, Lopera is going to be very important in Igor's team. But then again, Moldier, we haven't got her Euphoria yet. Maybe after getting her Euphoria, she probably will be the Lawrence in the team, right? The sub DPS, and then enhancing Igor's damage even more. But anyway, for sustain, Jay is actually better, but Jay's Euphoria is not here yet in GL, so you gotta use Marsha. Then apart from that, we also can use her in teams that actually benefits from removing cards. For example, Liang Yue, Winsong, pretty good. But one major issue is that you don't have a proper sustain if you look into this team. So if you are fighting against an enemy that doesn't really hit so hard, certain stages now in Focus Flashback doesn't need that much healing, so you can always ditch your sustain and bring another support that further boosts up your DPS damage so that they can clear within 6 rounds. Yeah, so in that case, definitely you can then bring Lopera as the sustain because she does has that single target healing, which should be enough, like I say, if the enemy doesn't hit really hard. This Psychube is very good for her, the third commitment, so definitely use it. It's very generic because the Dynamo character use it. Any character that has array can use it, except Poison. So yeah, definitely you should just max out this Psychube because of how generic it is. Not only just for Lopera. And then here we have Portrait. If you want to go for Portrait, P1 is a good place to stop. You can also go for P2, but actually she worked perfectly fine with P0. You don't really need this additional Portrait at all, and she will work as good as she is. All right. For P3, P4, P5, definitely not that important. P3, the array is 4 rounds, so you can make her rotation every 4 rounds, but then you probably will get flooded by her incantation, which means you want to use it a round or 2 rounds earlier. So I don't see why you really need this P3. P4, she's not a DPS. She doesn't need that. P5, she's also not a DPS. So again, she doesn't need that. So what you're actually getting out of P5 is just that additional 10% incantation might and 10% ultimate might, which is just too expensive to get. So should you pull for her? Well, if you have Igor, definitely. 40% damage dealt and another 40% for his ultimate, right? Ultimate might for his ultimate. So that almost doubles the damage that Igor does. So pretty insane. So if you have Igor, a definite must pull. If you don't have Igor, yeah, don't bother. Save your material, go for other Euphoria. Alright, so that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.